Good morning, everyone. This is Mike the Wandering Took. Welcome to Sunday Morning Arkham, and this is, oh my gosh, this is the final adventure of the Innsmouth conspiracy. Amanda Sharp has made it this far. I'm really excited about this one because over the last two adventures, I have not been able to upgrade my deck. So now we are looking at least for this adventure, the fully upgraded Amanda Sharp deck, which, if you've been following along, is very similar to the last ones, except it's got a very key difference. It has the Red Gloved Man. Two copies of it. It was expensive, but hopefully worth it. So what this deck does, if you haven't seen it, is draw itself out really quickly. Basically, I am going to draw so many cards that I can pitch whatever I want to pass tests. The kicker with the Red Glove Man is that it lets me do that with impunity because he can soak up the horror every time I cycle my deck. If I time it right. We'll see if that works out, won't we? But here we are. We are at the... we are going into the Maelstrom. In the last adventure, did fairly well going through the order, the esoteric order of Dagon. I think I got most of the keys. I definitely got the challenges done. I kept Dagon asleep. I completed with lots of time to spare. And now we get to see the whole thing come together. So this campaign is actually, I find it really neat because you can be doing really well, but miss a couple things and not get a lot of the benefits coming into this scenario, which is kind of what happened to me. There's also a special ending that's really hard to get. In order to do it, have you need to get all seven keys in this scenario, and that's not even possible unless you've done enough things coming up to this point. So, without further ado, let's just dive in here. The plan is simple, foolish but simple. The knowledge you've gathered leads you to conclude that the esoteric order of Dagon is the cause of both the rising tides and the appearance of the horrific Deep Ones. Not only that, but over the course of the last few decades, the Order has transformed the townsfolk into more of the horrific creatures, using them to infiltrate Innsmouth from within. But worst of all, the entity the cult worships, Dagon, is just one of two. His mate, Hydra, still slumbers in the depths below Innsmouth, waiting to awaken and stake her claim over an endless ocean. These are the conclusions that have led you to your plan. Travel once more to Devil Reef, descend into the city of the Deep Ones that lies hidden at the bottom of the ocean, and put a stop to the Deep Ones' plans once and for all. Agent Harper helps you prepare, loading your possessions onto the boat as you manage to steal from what remained of Innsmouth's docks. We only have one shot at this, Harper says. I don't think I need to remind you what might happen if we fail. She looks pointedly at the flooded ruins of Innsmouth. Are you ready? So this setup initially reads very complicated until you understand what's going on here. So Act 1 looks like this, where we start at the gateway to Yenathlay, and we have the tidal tunnels around us. And we're not allowed to progress unless we possess all four keys of specific colors. That would be, I think, red, blue, yellow, green, I believe it is. Yes. Now, there are only four keys set aside. Of the seven, you can get some of the colors by doing some things. For example, I happen to have done the necessary prerequisites to get the map of Yenathlay, and that was... I don't even remember how that happens. It must have been a little while ago, which means I start with the red key. And any keys you start with don't count towards the four that are set aside. So if you want to see all seven, you have to met the prerequisites to get three of the keys in front of you. So, for example, if the Gatekeeper had been defeated, which I did last game, and an Investigator's deck contains one of the assets from Devil Reef, which I didn't do, I could have gotten another key. Likewise, if I had defeated the Terror of Devil Reef, which I couldn't have done because I didn't get that memory in the very first scenario, and I got the Life Cycle of a Deep One memory, which I did last game, I would have had yet another key. So I did a lot, but not quite enough in the right combinations to get more than one key. So I have to run around here to get at least three remaining keys. Four would be helpful, but I need the three in order to progress. And then Of the remainder, you throw in random keys until there's 4, and then you shuffle them all up. So 2 keys have been removed. I don't know which ones, but I do know I have at least 3 of these are the ones I need to progress. Make sense? Hope so. I also start with the diving suit, and that's because I got out of the lighthouse 2 scenarios ago. This thing, I get to ignore the forced ability on the agenda. So the forced ability in all of these is when you're at a fully flooded location, something bad happens. Like if you don't escape it in a turn, take 5 damage, something like that. This lets me completely escape that. However, whenever I take any damage, one of them goes on the diving suit. And this has 3 hit points. And what else have I got here? There's 3 acts, Act 2As, but I only used the 1. Setting a whole bunch of enemies aside, that's good. I still have Teachings of the Order. And tucked underneath that is Miskatonic Archaeology funding, which I don't need to actually display. It just means I can carry 2 Miskatonic assets for free. So effectively I can get 3 allies out. But I have Teachings of the Order. This is the one I got a long time ago. I believe when I was escaping Innsmouth. And it's got 3 once per campaign abilities. One is to remove all curses, which I've done. One is to remove a flood token from a non-sanctum location. I may or may not use that. But the other one, defeat a non-elite enemy at your location. I'm going to read that as defeat a Loiger at your location, because that thing caused me so much pain in Double Reef. I feel like that would be suitable revenge. I think that's it. As per usual, any locations that are adjacent to Tidal Tunnel is connected to the Tidal Tunnel, so the usual horizontal vertical adjacency rule. We're not dealing with connections at this point. And I guess we're ready to begin. We've got Agenda 1A, Under the Surface. Your boat lands on the Black Reef, and you descend once more into the tidal caverns. Deeper and deeper still you travel, until all thoughts of returning to the surface seem like fantasy. Okay, here's that forced effect. When your turn begins, if you're at a fully flooded location, you struggle for air. When your turn ends, if you did not enter an unflooded or partially flooded location during your turn, take 5 direct damage. Yuck. 6 Doom threshold. Act 1A is back into the depths. Finally, you reach the gateway to the final depths, a swirling vortex of otherworldly currents beyond which Innsmouth, the city of the deep ones, waits. Somehow you must gain entrance. If I'm at the gateway of Innsmouth and I possess all 4 of those keys, I get to advance. The Chaos Bag here, skulls until the very end of the game are worth -1. I don't have any of the Elder Thing tokens in here, so I can ignore that one. But there's 1 Cultist Bag, which is -3. If I fail, place a Doom on the agenda. And a Broken Tablet, -4. If I fail, I must increase the flood level of my location or take a damage. So ideally, I'm up by 4. Drawing into, well, I actually better check my opening hand here. We got a Library Assistant. Practice Makes Perfect. Vicious Blow. Obscure Studies. Mag Glass. Wasn't that interesting? I'm actually going to mulligan everything except Lab Assistant. I'm looking for card draw, pure card draw above all. At one point I might have kept Practice Makes Perfect, but... Oh, that is a good one, isn't it? That is a really good one. If I can, especially if I can dig out something that gives me card draw. Yeah, I could do that. All right. So replenishing, nihilism, perception, red glove man. Nihilism doesn't count. Unrelenting. Okay, so I have my 5 cards. Not bad. At least I have something to put underneath her. I kind of want a shortcut so I can get my card draw going. But we shall see, won't we? All right, so I am shuffled up, ready to go. I start at the gateway of Innsmouth. Of course, there's 0 clues on it. Begins partially flooded. Beginning of my turn, I draw into a perception. Hey, I like seeing a perception. Now I got to pick something to go underneath me. So I'm going to have to move. I'm going to want to put out my lab assistant. So that's already 2 actions, which means I'm not going to get something. That kind of stinks. Unless I have a shortcut. So I'm actually gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it. We're gonna throw perception underneath Amanda Sharp. While it's underneath her, she gets to commit it to every test that it's possible to be committed to this turn. So I'll begin by putting out my lab assistant. Drawing 2 cards. I really love a shortcut. Lab assistant and Fishes Below. Well, isn't that a thing? That second lab assistant is nice. Yeah, I'm putting out the second lab assistant. We're just going to do this. Unrelenting. Whoops. There we go. That's a mag glass. Well. Okay, so that lab assistant gives me a total of +4 cards in my hand size, which is great. I still need my Dream Enhancing Serum, and I still need my Dream Diary. So I'm sitting here. That perception's basically going to waste. I don't want it to go to waste. I would rather just... Let's put out my mag glass, first of all, because that's fast. And I'm just going to investigate this location, even though it has no clues, so I can draw 2 cards. And I have a -4. What was I? I was a 5. I was a 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. That -4 was... That hurt a bit. But I do get to draw 1 card. It is another mag glass, which I will be throwing away to a test. All right. That's okay. That's okay. That's just round 1. Upkeep. I gain $1. I draw into my Dream Diary. That's nice. Once I start getting my money engine going, this will look a lot better. Let's put a Doom on the agenda. And I get Macabre Memento. Test 3 Will. Oh, I can take Horror. Okay, that's awesome. 3 Will. If I reveal a cultist, I auto-fail. I don't... Well, I do have an Unrelenting. I'm going to pitch an Unrelenting. No, because I want cards. I really need to beef up this hand. So I'm actually going to get rid of 2 zeros and an Elder Sign because I want to draw 2 cards immediately. This Unrelenting is such a neat skill. All right, that gives me a Cryptic Writings and a Dream Enhancing Serum. Well, that Cryptic Writings I can immediately play to gain 2 resources. What a great card that is. And now I get to test for this. Let's see. I'm going to fail this. -2. What am I? That's a 0. So I take 2 Horror. I'm going to put 1 on a Lab Assistant and 1 on myself. There we go. Okay, so even though I failed, I got a couple resources out of the deal, didn't I? Beginning of my turn, I draw into an Obscure Studies. This perception goes away, and I have to put something underneath me. Ah. And I'm looking at all the stuff I want to play. Dream Diary, Dream Enhancing Serum. The diary is so good. And where are my cryptic researches? Yeah, I'm going to have to put... do I Obscure Studies this? I think I need to position myself. I need to play out a couple things. I do need to move. So what do I throw underneath myself? I'm going to throw another... I'm I'm torn. Okay, you know what? I'm going to throw a Mag Glass because I'm not going to do any tests this turn. That's my plan. I'm doing full-on setup here. So for action 1, I'm going to move to this tidal tunnel. Oh, this becomes fully flooded. How fun. It's an underwater cavern with a single clue on it. And it becomes fully flooded when I enter it. Do clues do anything? I'm not sure clues do anything. Oh. Maybe you carry them forward into the next act. Alright, so then I want to spend 2 resources. Let's get my Dream Diary out, because this will let me play a bunch of neat things. And I'm going to jump down to this tidal tunnel. Alright, after this is revealed, this is a tidal pool, 3 shroud, 1 clue, and I get a random key on it. There we go. So I'm setting myself up for a turn where I can investigate, move, investigate next turn, assuming all goes well. End of my turn. Oh, there's a shortcut, finally. That's my upkeep. Put a Doom on the agenda. Drawing into a lurking deep one. Hey, hey, hey. Never mind that plan. I take a damage. When he engages me, I take a damage, and it has to go on my diving suit. Alright, drawing into a Curiosity. And I have to stick a card underneath her. Yes, I know there's glare. Just this hand is going to get so messy if you haven't seen this before. Really, really messy. So this Mag Glass disappears, and I'm going to put the Unrelenting under me, because that gives me flexibility in the type of tests I can do this turn. Let's see. I don't like lurking deep ones. So I think I'm going to Vicious Blow this thing. Now, he is a 2. I know there's a -4 in the bag. But I also have this Essence of the Dream thanks to my Dream Diary. Isn't that handy? So I think I'm going to pitch a Vicious Blow and this Essence of the Dream to this test. I'm going to, in my Unrelenting, actually, what am I up by? I'm up by 5, up by 3, which means only that, what here? I have a tablet in here that could fail. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to play this one safe. I'm going to get rid of the 2 -4s that can fail me. And I'm going to get rid of that Cultist too, because, yeah. Everything else in here is a pass. Skull is a -1, so I've defeated this lurking deep one. This all goes back to the bag. And here we go. Yeah, we're going to pitch a Perception. I'm going to do an Investigate test. I'm going to pitch a Perception to it. So I'm a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on a 3, and I can get rid of 7 on a 3. That's up by 4, which means I can very happily get rid of 3 tokens for my Unrelenting, 3 good tokens, and get 2 cards, drawing into Cryptic Research and an Inquiring Mind. This is going to get insane. -3, which is a pass. But I only succeeded by 1, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 -3. Yeah. Yeah, I only succeeded by 1. That's okay. I draw a card for Perception. It is a red glove man. I pick up this clue. I get this key. It is the green key. So I have 2 of my 4 that I'm going to need. So I've done 2 actions this turn. For my, I'm going to free action. I'm going to shortcut. Get a free move out of this. Underground river can never be fully flooded. After I enter this thing, it becomes partially flooded. And there are 2 clues on it. I think I need to play a cryptic research to draw 3 cards. Shortcut, vicious blow, cryptic writings. Great. Love to see that cryptic writings, because that immediately gets me another 2, which means I'll be able to play a lot of fun stuff this turn. That was another shortcut. And this one's a victory, but I don't care about victory because this is the last scenario. I think I might just spend my other shortcut immediately just to move around the board. I want those keys. What do we got here? After Dark Abyss is revealed, randomly choose a set-aside key and put it on top. Forced after the last clue is discovered, this becomes fully flooded. And you increase the flood level of each location connected to the Dark Abyss. Okay, so 1 clue, 2 shroud. And I have been... That was 2 shortcuts, which means I still have an action left. I'm going to throw an inquiring mind at the problem. And I'm going to, again, remove the good tokens for the unrelenting that's tucked underneath me, and I get to draw 2 cards. Mind over matter, Eureka. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm going to leave. Yeah, I'm not going to pitch anything else to this test. And that is a -1. I succeeded by a lot. I get the clue. And this is the purple key, so not one of the 4 I need. That means I'm going to be running around looking for the other 2. Whew. Okay, so we're doing well. I've got money, so I can actually start affording to put out Red Glove Man if need be. I do want that dream-enhancing serum, because that's going to really help with the card draw. I'm getting to the end of my deck. What have I got here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. If I can time it so a Red Glove Man is out at the same time, that would be amazing. End of my turn, I draw. We have a deduction, and I have 1 more resource. 1 more doom on the agenda. We are at 3 of 6. The card I draw is an Ancient Evils, so make that 4 of 6 doom. Beginning of my turn, I draw a Dream Enhancing Serum. So all my toys are now out. I just have to get them into play. What have I got? I've got 5 resources to play with. It's not a ton. I think I'm going to put a Eureka underneath me. Why Eureka? Because I know my shortcuts are in my discard pile. I want to play out a Dream Enhancing Serum. So that's 2 actions. And this will give me 1 action that I can, at least get a card out of the deal. And I can pitch an Essence of the Dream to it later. All right. So, first action, I'm going to put out a Dream Enhancing Serum. And this is where it's going to get so messy. So I've got my allies up here. I'm going to put my Dream Enhancing Serum down here. And I might just, my hand might not be that visible. I'm just going to organize it a bit here. The stuff I need to deal with combat, I put my Red Glove Man back there. My general purpose statting, then my assets and my essence. So action 1 was Dream Enhancing Serum. Action 2, I'm going to move up to this tidal tunnel where we have an underwater cavern that comes into play fully flooded. Oh, that reminds me. I was supposed to increase the flood level of these locations. And each adjacent location, so that's fully flooded anyways, doesn't matter. And this one cannot be any more than partially flooded. I don't actually need to investigate. I mean, that Eureka's nice, but it's not the best. I think I'd prefer just to spend my last action moving again. There's another Dark Abyss with a clue and a key. So then next turn, I will be set up to do something fun. All right. End of round. What have I even got here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drawing into a Mind Over Matter. That's 8. That's a duplicate card, so I can use Dream Enhancing Serum to draw another card. It is Whispers from the Deep, which is going to get tucked underneath me. That's not so great. We are at 5 of 6 Doom. Drawing into Hydra's Brood. Spawn, Lair of Hydra or Gateway to Yenith Lay, whichever is farther from you. Well, that's going to be the Gateway. It is a Hunter. It is a 3/3 with 2 fleetness. After he engages you, if Hydra's in play, place a Doom on Hydra or Hydra attacks you. Okay, so it's a Hunter. It's a little bit bigger than the other things I've been fighting. 3 hit points, 3 fight. And he only really just jumps on me when he engages me. But once Hydra's in play, I mean, that's going to start triggering when Hydra wakes up. So beginning of my turn, I draw into Nihilism, which means the auto-fail is now worth a damage and a horror to me. Fun. What have I got in? I've got 3 cards left in my deck. Okay, something's got to go underneath me, and it has to be Whispers from the Deep. So one of the cards under here is that very lovely Cryptic Research, which means I should be able to draw through my deck next turn. Let's see here. How much do I care about that one horror? Probably not that much. If I put the Red Glove Man out, he can soak some damage, but that might be premature. Yeah, I think that's premature. So what I'm going to do instead is just some basic investigation. Okay, so this is a 2. I'm actually a 1 right now. I'm a 2 with a Mad Glass. I'm even. If I just pitch Essence of the Dream to this test, to this investigate test, then I am already up by 4, which is what I want, right? 0. I get a clue. The key is the yellow key. 1 more. Just need 1 more. I'm going to move. Yes, I know this means I'll be fighting something next turn. Yep, this is the last key. Title pool. Oh, all of this should have... this should be partially flooded, and this is partially flooded because of the Dark Abyss trigger, which means that the Shroud of this is now a 4. That's a lot. 4 Shroud. I gotta get 1, hey? Well, if I pitch a Curiosity, what does that make me? That makes me a 4. That actually makes me even. I don't really want to get rid of my Obscure Studies right now because I'm going to want it when I'm fighting Hydra's Brood. But I think I do. Yeah, I think, in fact, I'm going to... Yeah, I'm just going to pitch this. I'm actually going to swap, use the ability on Obscure Studies to slide it underneath Amanda and take Whispers from the Deep back to my hand, and then throw Whispers from the Deep to this test. Which means I'll have this card in the Mythos phase. So I'm a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to a 3. 0. I get the clue. And there's the blue key. That's all 4. Whispers from the Deep is gone, as is Curiosity. The enemy phase, Hydra's Brood, attacks me. I'm forced to take a horror, which will be a lab assistant taking that. Just a moment. Okay, so the lab assistant takes that. I now do upkeep, drawing into a cryptic research, and I get a resource. That resource is going to be key, but the agenda advances. Ancient evils will do that to you. The waters continue to roil in ebullient energy, as if somehow alive. With each passing moment, the sea grows more and more volatile. Stranger still are the monstrous creatures that now prowl the dark waters, creatures that defy all laws of nature. Shuffle the set-aside Loiger enemy and the set-aside Aquatic Abomination enemy into the encounter deck along with the discard pile. Okay, so we have 2 bad guys in the encounter deck now. Along with these, I'm okay with those 3 cards getting shuffled in. It's not like I drew back-to-back-to-back Ancient Evils. And my encounter card is a Lurking Deep one. I take a damage. And by I mean my diving suit, because I don't have a choice in that matter. Oh, the next agenda says Celestial Alignment. Even this deep beneath the surface of the ocean, you can tell that your time is running short. You feel the pull of the tide as it courses through the water. Every bone in your body quakes. The walls breathe as though alive. The same forced effect if I'm at a flooded location. So I have 2 enemies engage with me. I get to choose what I put underneath me. Oh, I have to draw first. Do I? I get a Curiosity. So then the card that I will put underneath me is going to be Vicious Blow because I have 2 enemies engaged with me. So far, so good. Now I will spend $2. This is free to put out the Red Glove Man. When he enters play, I can choose 2 of my skills. Raise them both to 6. So my fight is now a 6. I don't need to investigate. I think the other one's just going to be will, because there's a lot of will tests in the Mythos phase. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, so I'm a 6, and now I'm going to play Cryptic Research to draw 2 cards. Alina Harper, Practice Makes Perfect. My Dream Enhancing Serum gets to go off because Practice Makes Perfect is a duplicate. So I'm drawing 2 more cards. I stopped because I actually decked myself. So I have to take a horror, which is going on this Red Glove Man who has 4 and 4 for soak. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Okay, so then I have an Inquiring Mind and Cryptic Research again for my last card. That's great. Let's play Cryptic Research. I get a second Curiosity, an Unrelenting, and Eureka. So I have got lots of stuff. Oh, and I have an Essence of the Dream on me. Hoping to get some money to help pay for this cycle of Red Glove people. Okay, so I have a Vicious Blow underneath me, and I have a fight of 6. It is time to fight Hydra's Brood. So I'm an 8 on a 3, just raw. Elder Sign, so I'm actually a 10 on a 3, as if that mattered. Hydra's Brood is dead. And yeah, nothing else for that. Lurking Deep one, attacking it, -2. Lurking Deep one is dead. And for my final action, I'm going to move to the gateway. And I'll advance the beginning of next turn. There's no point doing it right now. The Red Glove Man cycles out. For my upkeep, I have Perception, and I gain a resource. We're going to put 1 Doom on the agenda. Drawing into Title Alignment. Choose a location where there's at least 1 investigator. Increase its flood level. Each investigator at that location takes a damage. Actually, the Red Glove Man is still in play. He's in play until the end of the Mythos phase. So he's going to take that damage for me. And this is now fully flooded. Okay, beginning of my turn. The card I draw is a shortcut. I get to put something underneath me. Oh, I have to watch how many cards in my hand. Duplicates don't count because Dream Enhancing Serum is a wonderful card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 cards. I have to discard something. I'm going to discard my Essence of the Dream because it's coming right back to my hand as per the Dream Diary's ability. Dream Diary is such a good card. And I totally did this a little out of order. Yeah, no, that shortcut's at the beginning of my turn. I didn't even have to do that. Okay, what am I putting underneath me? I am putting a Perception underneath me. Okay, beginning here. Let's advance. I have all of my keys. A maelstrom of currents tugs at your flesh as you cross through the gateway. When you emerge on the other side, you are no longer in the simple, tidal caverns beneath Devil Reef, but inside a vast city within the depths. A city of otherworldly alien architecture, and surprisingly, riches beyond your wildest imagination. So, these are all going away. All of these lovely locations. Except the gateway, where I am. We're going to go to the top here. This is going to take a moment to set up. There are multiple different types of locations here. We have a bunch of simple Yenethlay locations. Some Yenethlay Sanctum locations, and the layers for Dagon and Hydra. Now, this is a giant map, but they have you remove some locations depending on how many players there are in the game. So I'm going to put 1 beneath me here, 1 beneath me here, and then I am instructed to put the layer of Dagon here, and the layer of Hydra here. Let's just do that. I think we're tilting a bit. And then I remove A and B. So that means I put 1 location here. And I put 1 second here. Oh, I see. They go like this. So we have 2 sanctums in a Yenethlay. Yeah, okay. So I have another Yenethlay location right there. And 2 sanctums. That's my map. Where the ones on the end are my sanctums that are important, and these 2 here are the layers with the bad guys, and the other 4 are they're just there. And then I have 3 Yenethlay locations that were removed from the game at random. In a 4-player game, you would see all of them, but I do not get that. All right. Put the set-aside Hydra enemy into play in the layer of Hydra. Deep in slumber, side face up. She's slumbering. She cannot attack or engage. Is immune to anything the player does. At the end of the round, if an investigator is at this layer, you can place a doom on her. Or you can use your will to exhaust her or remove a doom from her. If you fail by 3 or more, place a doom. Now, because I got through the last adventure without waking Dagon. Dagon also appears on his slumbering side, and he has pretty much the same abilities. So once there's 3 doom, does that even say? Once they have a certain amount of doom, they wake up, I assume. All right. Act 2A. Oh, is it the... Yeah, maybe it's on the layer where it says he wakes up. He cannot attack or engage and is immune to investigator actions or player card effects. Huh. Doesn't say anything about waking Dagon. I'm sure the acted agenda will do that. All right, City of the Deep. Deep within the city of Innsmouth, the Deep Ones are performing a ritual that will drown the earth under the seas. The only way to counteract this ritual is to unveil the depths and expose the city to the sky. As a free action, I can remove 1 damage from an Ancient One at my location. Or if I'm at a lair lake location, I can spend a clue as a group to decrease the flood level of any non-sanctum location in play. Okay, so if I either damaged the Ancient Ones, or I can spend clues to decrease flood levels. Okay. Objective is to stop the Deep One's ritual by draining the city. If each location in play is unflooded, advance. Yikes. And here I am, at a flooded location. Well, time to get moving then, hey? Let's just spend a shortcut. Down to Innsmouth here. If I control the white key, I can place it here. Well, the white key doesn't do anything. Well, I don't have the white key. It would allow me free moves, which in this location is so beautiful. If only I had that white key. It is 6 shroud, 0 clues. Well, that's not fun. How am I supposed to draw buttloads of cards if there's no clues here? Let's move to this location for my first real action. If I control the purple key, I can place it here, then choose a non-elite enemy at any location to automatically evade that enemy and move it here. That enemy does not ready during the next upkeep phase. There is no reason for me to do that. Not right now. Okay, this is the Vault of Riches. 4 shroud. It gets 2 clues. So I should definitely investigate, since, you know, that's why I'm here. Let's throw an Essence of the Dream at the problem, so I'm up by a lot. Let's Unrelenting this to pull out 3 good tokens, since I'm not going to need them. I will throw out 2 zeros and an Elder Sign. -1 is a pass. Oh, I should have thrown the deduction in, because there's 2 clues here. No, I'm good. Okay, so first of all, I forgot. Unrelenting, I should have drawn 2 cards. Whispers from the Deep and Cryptic Writings. So the Cryptic Writings will go away. I will gain 2 resources. And that's a clue. Yes, I should have thrown the deduction. I should have done a lot of things. For the next one, I'm a 6 on a 4. I will throw Alina Harper, who's a 2. I will throw an Acquiring Mind for another 3. And I'll throw Whispers from the Deep just to get out of my hand. -3, that's enough. Oh, I didn't even do my 2 cards from... I'm owed 4 cards now because of that Perception underneath me. Shortcut, Perception, Cryptic Research, Vicious Blow. I'm going to save the Cryptic Research for next turn because I'm almost decked out. And then we go wild. All right, that's a lot of clues. So I move for 1 action, and I investigated twice. I am now done my turn. Sorry for the confusion. I think I did everything correct in the end. End of round. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand, which is fine. I draw into a Cryptic Writings. Then 1 Doom on the agenda, 2 of 8. Drawing into an Ancient Evils, which is 3 of 8 now. Beginning of my turn, I draw a card. It is Unrelenting, and I choose something to go underneath me. These Sanctums, yeah, they do have clues on them. Forgotten about that. Oh, Sanctums are fully flooded, I should mention. They don't want you losing or winning the game right away. Okay, so I do want the clues are good because they're going to let me get rid of the flooding on these locations. So that's why it was useful to grab clues in the last act. Yeah, so what's going underneath me? I think we throw a Perception underneath me again. Because we can. Yeah, this is going to get pretty darned obscene. So lots of, things to do. Let's spend 2. Get out another Red Glove Man. Setting my fleetness, or yeah, because I actually don't know what tests are in that deck. I thought maybe they are will. Let's go will and book to 6. And I will play a Cryptic Research to draw 3 cards. Obscure Studies, Magnifying Glass. I've decked myself out, so Red Glove Man gets a horror. My last card is Alina Harper. I mean, she doesn't really need to be in my deck anymore, but she is nice for 2 fleetness or 2 book. So far that has cost me nothing. I am going to shortcut, which again costs me nothing, into this Sanctum location. This gets a clue on it. During the enemy phase, each ready Ancient One enemy can attack investigators here as if they were engaged. Yuck. If I control the yellow key placed on this location, and investigators here spend a clue as a group to automatically evade each Ancient One enemy, unflood this location, and this location can then never be reflooded. Well, I think for my first action, I'm doing that. They are now exhausted. This becomes unflooded. For my second action, I am going to get rid of this. I'm going to throw Cryptic Writings at this test. So I'm a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on a 2. And my token is a -3. So that's a 5 on a 2. So I succeed by 2. Oh, I should have spent a clue, which I'll just do. That was for the key. So I have now get to draw 2 cards, a Cryptic Writings, and a Vicious Blow. That Cryptic Writings, thank you so much, Cryptic Writings, for another 2 resources. I have 1 action left. 1 and only 1. I think it's got to be to get the... No, that Yenneslay Sanctum, though. That's Sanctum. Yeah, I'm being very, very cagey with what or very careful with what I've got here. Next turn, I'm going to want to... Oof. I think next turn I'm going to want to put out another Red Glove Man as well, if I can draw him. I'm going to spend $3 for my last action and put out a second Dream Enhancing Serum. You know, just to get really, really complicated here. So what does that net me? That nets me, every time I draw a duplicate card, 2 additional cards. I think that's pretty good. End of round. Nothing is ready. So now they are. I do upkeep, cryptic research, and a resource. We put a doom on the agenda, and I draw into Syzygy. I must decide. Lose 3 resources, take 2 horror, or place a doom on the current agenda. Well, I'm going to take 2 horror on my Red Glove Man. And he's going to vanish anyways, because that's what he does. Beginning of my turn, I draw a cryptic research. So I'm drawing 6 cards this turn. So I am going to... What do I stick underneath me here? I have an Unrelenting. Let's put an Unrelenting under me. Action 1. Move down to the Sanctum. Each depot enemy at this location gets +2 fight. And same thing, I can spend an action to have everything exhaust. Spend an action and a clue, which I will do. Actually, there should be a clue on this location. That is the green key to auto-exhaust these 2 enemies. I think, what have I got here? I'm going to spend, oh, you know what? I should have done the cryptic research first. I'll show you why. Because I draw Perception, Shortcut, Red Glove Man. That's why. It was the shortcut. So I would have spent the shortcut to move down here, giving me that extra action. And I'm going to spend 2 resources to get the Red Glove Man out fast. Cryptic Research again, drawing the last 3 cards in my deck, which none of which is a duplicate. I have Whispers from the Deep, Unrelenting, and Inquiring Mind. Putting a horror on the Red Glove Man. All good so far? So, second action. Red Glove Man, again, I'm doing Willpower and Book. If I don't say it, let's just assume that's what I did. So I'm going to throw Whispers from the Deep at this problem. I'm going to throw, where is it here? I have an Inquiring Mind that I think is going to be very useful here. So between this and my Magnifying Glass, that's worth a 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops, no, 1, 3, 4. I'm a 10. I'm a 10 on a 5 right now because Red Glove Man. So we are going to get rid of 3 good tokens as per Unrelenting to immediately draw 2 cards. Drawing into a Red Glove Man and a shortcut. These 3 go back. Oh, I need to do my test. And it is a -2. I get the clue. This should also be unflooded, by the way. These go back in the bag. And that was my second action, wasn't it? I'm going to shortcut into the Lair of Dagon. The Lair of Dagon, 6 Shroud, 3 clues. It's -1 Shroud for each Sanctum location with a key on it. I can check the campaign log if all 7 keys are on locations and the Orator's Ritual was disrupted. That's hard to do, by the way. Even just doing the ritual is hard enough. But, oh, yo, having all keys. You dig deep into your memories to recall what happened the last time you were here. Read the flashback in the campaign guide. Well, I can't. So I can spend as free actions. Clues to unflood locations. So I'm going to spend 2 clues. Do these don't even enter? Yeah, here we go. This is why. This is why I'm confused. All of these Yeneth ley locations should be partially flooded. That's why. Okay, that's why I'm confused. But the layers are not. Isn't that interesting? So I spent 2 clues to unflood that location. I'm going to spend an additional, I think I'm going to spend an additional 4 clues to unflood all of these Yeneth ley locations. Yeah. I still have an action left. There's a whole bunch of juicy clues at this location. And since Dagon is exhausted, I don't have to place a doom on him. So I'm going to investigate. This is a Shroud 6, but, oh no, Shroud 4. My Raw is a 6. I'm going to throw Perception and a Deduction at this, and a Eureka. We're going to go absolutely nuts here. -1. Oh, I'm going to redo that because I had Unrelenting underneath me too. So I'm going to throw out 2 zeros and an Elder Sign to immediately draw 2 cards. There's a Shortcut and a Cryptic Writings. Yes, that's another $2. That's going to fuel my Red Glove Man. Drawing a +1, which nets me another 2 cards for Perception. Drawing into a Cryptic Research and a Cryptic Writings. That Writings gets me another immediate 2 resources. I get to use Eureka. Hey, look, a Cryptic Research. Because I've drawn it, a duplicate, I get to tap both Dream Enhancing Serums to draw the top 2 cards of my deck. One is a Perception. I have decked myself, which means this Red Glove Man is taking another horror. See, this is the insanity. This is the utter insanity that is this deck. And an Inquiring Mind. I now have 7 cards in my deck, and I just recycled it. And I should have 2 clues. Are we doing fine? We're doing fine, right? Let's spend a Cryptic Research and draw 3 cards. We have a Deduction, a Cryptic Writings, and a Shortcut. The Cryptic Writings gets me 2 resources. And I'm going to spend my second Cryptic Research to draw another 3 cards. Drawing Whispers from the Deep, Perception, and my other Cryptic Writings. That's another $3. End of round. The enemies wake up. I draw into a Eureka, which puts another horror on Red Glove Man because I've cycled my deck now 3 times. I probably have to discard down now. Let's see what I got here. Of my duplicates, I've got Practice Makes Perfect, Shortcut, Curiosity, Mind Over Matter, Vicious Blow. That's 5. 6, because I got Perceptions. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have to discard 3 cards from my hand. I guess it's going to be Alina Harper, Eureka, and an Inquiring Mind. I'll keep the deduction and the Whispers from the Deep, because I have to keep Whispers from the Deep. My resource for end of round. There is now 5 of 8 Doom, drawing into Thalassophobia. If investigators are at flooded locations, if no investigators are here at flooded locations, this gains Surge. Psychic Pull. If you have no cards in your hand, this gains Surge. Otherwise, discard a random card from your hand, then test Will X, where X is the printed cost of the discarded card. That's the one thing I don't like about this, is that I have to shuffle up my carefully organized hand just to do this random discard. Good thing I'm at a 6 base willpower with the Red Glove Man, hey? All right, my random discard from my hand is a Perception, which has no cost. So I guess I do a Will 0, and as long as I don't pull the Elder Sign, I win. Yep. Psychic Pull is gone. All right, drawing into beginning of the Investigator phase, I have a Cryptic Writings. Oh well. Not drawn at the right time, but that's okay. I have to put something underneath me. So this Unrelenting is going to vanish. I have to put my hand back the way it was. Vicious Blows. Mind over matters. Yeah. What am I going to put on? Oh, I have to put Whispers from the Deep. I have no choice. That's my weakness. Mind to bear. Let's start. I believe I had a shortcut in here. Playing a shortcut to move here to this Yenneth location. If I control the white key, I can place it here. Interesting. All 7 keys have to be on locations for this to go off. I wonder if that's even possible in solo. Like, I'm sure it's possible, but because I throw 3 random locations away at the beginning, I wonder if it's possible just to not have a key come out. Questions. I'm sure they thought about it. I will then shortcut again. We are going to go straight to the lair of Hydra. Same idea as before. It's got, what, 4 Shroud on it now? Because I've got keys on 2 locations. It's got 3 clues. I can place the black, purple, or white key on this location. Oh, okay, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You can place any key on this location to deal 3 damage to an Ancient One enemy that is not slumbering. Okay, so there is a way to spend all of your keys if you have it. Now, I want to... Oh, this Red Glove Man shouldn't be here anymore, by the way. He's temperamental. He goes away a lot. Spend 2 resources to get another Red Glove Man into play. And I think we are going to pitch a Perception to this test. So yeah, as usual, I'm willpower and book 6, which means because of Whispers from the Deep, I'm a 5. Perception makes me an 8 on a 4, which is pretty good. I'm going to deduction that, so I'm a 9 on a 4. Then I'm going to Unrelenting, so I'm a 10 on a 4. Removing 3 bad tokens from the bag. 3 good tokens. And immediately drawing 2 cards just for doing that. I have a Cryptic Writings and a cryptic research. The writings, of course, gets me 2 resources. Digging deep here, we have a skull, which is... There are 4 or more unflooded locations in Unithlay locations, so that's a -3. But that's fine. I totally blew that away. Which means I draw another 2 cards. Cryptic Research. So I've decked myself. That's 1 horror on Red Glove Man. And my second perception card is an Alina Harper. And because I drew my second copy of Cryptic Research, I get to tap my Dream Enhancing Serums and draw a Eureka and an Inquiring Mind. I have 2 of these clues. So I have done one thing. I think you'll agree. I think you should only have 2. One thing I think you'll agree, so I'm going to go second action here. No. I've done one thing. We are doing a Cryptic Research to draw 3 cards. That is a Red Glove Man, an Unrelenting, and a Cryptic Writings. That's another $2. And I'm going to spend my second Cryptic Research to draw into Perception and my other 2 shortcuts, because I've already decked myself again. That's a second horror on Red Glove Man, and I have 3 cards in my deck. Let's spend a shortcut to move into Statues of the Deep. So my second action, I'm going to spend the blue key, spend a clue off my investigator to unflood Statues in the Deep. And it has the same idea. You automatically evade each Ancient One enemy. And then I'm going to spend my last shortcut to go up to this final Yenethlay Sanctum, the Syzygy Chamber, for Shroud. Similar concept as the others. I spend my last action to put down the red key, spending a clue to unflood this location. And guess what? Every location in play is now unflooded. I get to advance. The seas part with a roaring torrent. Chill air flows through the corridors of Yenethlay as it rises. When the stars look down upon its alien emerald halls, something in the air changes. There is a sound like a snap and the hissing of air being pulled through the vacuum of space. Then, like automobiles lurching to life, the Earth and the Moon begin to move once more. Add this card to the victory display. If there is another act card in play, there actually isn't, because I was supposed to remove them at the beginning of the game. That's the secret ending, if you have the 7 keys and the Orders Ritual was disrupted. Otherwise, proceed to R1. And that's that. R1. You frantically make your way back to the entrance of the undersea city, hoping desperately to escape alive. You feel the familiar tugging of the currents all around you as you emerge on the other side of the otherworldly threshold. Your heart does not stop racing until you finally break the surface of the water and collapse on an outcropping of rock. In your campaign log, record the investigators escaped Yenethlay. Add both Dagon and Hydra to the victory display. They're actually not worth victory points. Oh, wait. And we earn an additional victory X for each card in the victory display, which is nothing, I believe. Each investigator suffers 2 physical trauma from their ordeal beneath the waves. And skip to Resolution 3. As you emerge from the caverns of Devil Reef and look up to the sky, your throat clenches tight. The sun and moon are still locked in unholy alignment, and the sea still swallows most of the coast. Wait, did I do the right one? One moment here. Which act is in the victory display? Would be City of the Deep. I think I did the wrong one here. Check if Act 2B, Shattering the Alignment, is in the victory display. It is not, so The sun and moon are still locked in unholy alignment. I record the flood has begun. Hmm. Oh, there. Wait, this is what it's asking for. If Act 2B, conspiracy fulfilled or conspiracy dismantled, is in the victor display. That's not the path I took. Oh, okay, yep, here we go. That's my bad. I should have gone to resolution 2. So, after breaking the surface of the water and collapsing on the rock, as I emerge from the caverns of Devil Reef and look up to the sky, I'm relieved to see the sun and moon no longer in alignment. The tide appears to be retreating as well. The seas seem to have finally calmed. In your campaign log, record the plot of the Deep Ones was thwarted. The investigators win the campaign. Huzzah! Huzzah! Isn't that awesome? That is the Innsmouth conspiracy. That was absolutely bonkers. By the end, you can see really what Red Glove Man does to this deck. And I'm glad I didn't have to have you sit through even more of that card draw shenanigans, that I just won that quickly. Just being able to cycle those shortcuts is amazing, and way better, I think, than what's that other movement card that Seekers always get? The Pathfinder, which gives you, what, 1 free move a turn? I mean, it's nice and all, but it costs 3 to put out. It takes up a valuable action from Amanda. And if I can just cycle 2 shortcuts instead, whew, that's a lot. Well, that's the Innsmouth conspiracy. It's a fun campaign. It is convoluted. If anything, the biggest challenge is that you don't get to spend experience always when you want it. That definitely made it challenging for me in a couple scenarios, especially early on. But it is a ton of fun. Just be forewarned, you'll be taking a lot of horror and damage in this one. I love it. I love the theme. I love the writing. I love just some of the moments, like the one where you're locked down in the caves for the second time, just that feeling of dread that washes over you while you're reading it. It's just so good. So good. So thank you to everyone, all the designers who had a hand in this, and playtesters. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a fun experiment. I'm going to take a bit of a break because it is Christmas time and the holidays are very, very busy for most people. And I've got a couple of vacations planned. So I will cook something else up and I'll be back at some point. Just not sure when. Definitely in the new year. Thank you all. Have a good one. Take care.